Well, Donald Trump will tonight arrive at The Hague, where he'll have dinner with the King and Queen of the Netherlands, along with his fellow NATO leaders. Tomorrow, they'll get down to business, and during his journey, he leaked on social media what appeared to be a private message from the head of NATO. Our Europe editor, James Mates, is at The Hague tonight. James, a lot for them to discuss, but first of all, the leak of that message from Mark Rutte, I mean, what does that suggest about the kind of reception Donald Trump will get?
Well, to say that European leaders have been nervous about what Trump might bring to this summit and what might happen here is an understatement. But the Secretary-General of NATO, Mark Rutte, has made it his guiding purpose to manage President Trump, to be the Trump whisperer, if you like, to make sure that he stays committed to the alliance. So when Trump said he wanted defence spending up from 2% to 5% right across Europe, Mark Rutte has worked ceaselessly to get that commitment, Britain included, that regular defence spending, if you can call it that, will in future be 3.5%, with another 1.5% on top, bringing it to 5% on other related security expenditure. And to that end, he sent a message, an extraordinarily flattering message to President Trump today, saying he'd achieved that. First of all, he praised his decisive action against Iran, but then said, you will achieve something no American president in decades could get done. Europe is going to pay in a big capital letters way, as they should, and it will be your win. Now, we know enough about President Trump to know how much he would have enjoyed receiving that, and whether it was meant to be private or not, he immediately put it out on his social media site. So it is expected that he will arrive here very shortly in pretty good humour with all that. The one slight fly in the ointment is that when asked about Article 5, that commitment to the defence of one is the defence of all, that President Trump said, well, that depends how you define it. So there may still be trouble ahead.
All right, James, at The Hague, thank you. Well, at that meeting in the Netherlands, the UK has joined other NATO members in agreeing to a new higher defence spending target demanded by President Trump. But it's all new money. And what does it mean for the rest of Britain's stretched public services? Our political correspondent, Carl Dinnan, is here to explain. Carl.
Well, Lucrezia, this is how, as James was putting it, Europe is going to pay big in capital letters. NATO's defence spending target is rising from 2% of GDP to 5% by 2035. Now, the UK is already on course to spend 2.6% of GDP by 2027. But the jump to 5% isn't that big because the NATO target is made up of 3.5% of core defence spending and then 1.5% on resilience and security. Now, that is not yet fully defined, but the government says it will include cyber security, energy security and border security, including stopping small boats. But it's not new money. The government reckons it already meets that resilience and security spend, so the UK is already on track to spend 4.1% under the new definition. Although that does still leave us a cool £30 billion short of NATO's new target. So let's have a look at how it compares to other public spending. The government spends about 11%, here it is, 11% of GDP on healthcare and another 11% on pensions and benefits. Education costs a little over 4%. If defence spending rises to 5% at a time when healthcare spending is also set to rise, expect a squeeze on other budgets. In fact, today the government published a national security strategy which warns us to prepare for the possibility of the UK homeland coming under direct threat, explicitly adding that more tough choices can be expected as we head towards higher spending on defence and national security. So there is now pressure on ministers, Lucrezia, to set out what those tough choices will be.
All right, Carl, thank you.